It allows me to recognize and identify fears and stories and traumas that are being stored in people's bodies on a cellular level. Incredible, the information that the body can reveal. And so the chakras are a really powerful information system as well that help to kind of cue us what's happening underneath the surface before it even metastasizes into a physical illness, whether that's pain or whether that's like emotional reactions. There's all these different ways our body is communicating with us.
Do you want to wake up feeling like you're stepping into who you're meant to be, into the best possible version of you? What if I told you that the key to your best life, health, and happiness are all around you? You just have to find what works for you. I'm Hope Pedraza, and I believe that there isn't just one way to live a healthy and meaningful life, and that all you need is a little inspiration to make changes that last from the inside out. Each week, I'll be sharing tangible tips and inspirational interviews to help you on your journey. These are the steps to take to improve your life and live with purpose. This is Hopeful and Wholesome. Hey y'all, welcome back to Hopeful and Wholesome. Today I have on the show Nadia, and Nadia is a bioenergetic therapist. She's a Reiki Master. She's a yoga teacher. She's an expert on chakras and chakra balancing, and she's also the co-owner of Rise Wellness Collective. And we are talking really all about energetics, but most specifically about the chakras. And I know, I like to get woo on here, but I also like to tie it back to actual things that, affect your health and your wellness and all of that. And so Nadia's going to kind of break things down for us too, because the chakras, while they are energy systems and it is related to energetics, it's also related to like your physical wellness. And she's going to tie all that in together. So she's got so many great, tangible, strategic things that we can start implementing now on how to like kind of figure out where the imbalances are, how to balance things out, where we're having blocks in those energy systems and those energy centers, and just how we can bring balance back to the body and back to our health and really build vitality and harmony in all areas of your life. So I'm really excited about this episode, and she is going to teach you so much. So let's jump in. All right, y'all, let's jump in. I'm here with Nadia, and we are talking about all things energy and energetics today because she's an expert on all the things. And so I'm really excited to get this conversation going. Thank you so much for coming on with me today, Nadia.
Oh, thank you, Hope. It makes me so joyful to know. I've been looking forward to this because I know we booked a few months back. So it's just been on my radar, and it's always just such a gift and an honor to be invited to speak about what I feel so passionate about and what's really transformed my life. And I've witnessed it have such a powerful, profound effect on so many. So thank you for the invitation to be here and to share what I love.
Of course. And I'm really excited about you dabble in so many things. And so I'm excited to kind of touch little pieces of each of that because you are such an expert in so many things. And so before we kind of dive into it, can you give just kind of a little bit of backstory of like how you got into this? And like you were just saying, how it's affected your life, like how you got onto this path.
Absolutely. It's really funny because that was not a foreseen destination for me at all. Like I had no awareness of any of these various healing modalities, no interest in it. I was a dancer. I was really disconnected from myself, had no idea really who I was or what I was meant to do in this world or this lifetime. And that was something that actually really made me feel sad and bad about myself because I would see people in this world and I would just love watching people get lit up and so clear in what they do. And I could see that there was such a deep knowing of themselves and I admired that. So when I was about, I want to say 18 is when I really started to, it's almost like things started to fall apart so that they can come together in a meaningful way because I thought I knew what I wanted, right, at that age. And then, I'm coming out of university. I had a degree in communication studies, trying really hard to do all the things the book said that it leads you towards the path of waiting to feel externally what's like for me. And there was this like feeling of being shut off inside. Nothing was really doing it for me. And then it's really funny. The universe led me to this path because I moved to Ajax, Ontario, never been in Durham before. I live in Toronto, Canada now. And I was looking to see what was happening in that neighborhood. So I was trying to discover what was around, and I popped onto this health site because I had ventured into that store and I really liked the vibe in there. And their website was marketing for this yoga studio in town. And they just happened to be having an open house the next day with a free trial appointment for Reiki. And I didn't know what Reiki was. I had never experienced it, but I instantly connected with this incredible woman at the studio. Little did I know this was who was going to be providing me Reiki that day. Mm-hmm. And we've had this lifelong connection since that moment.
That's awesome.
She trained me in Reiki level 1, and I started practicing energy healing with her workshops. She let me come as a volunteer because she saw that it's just something like that's a huge part of me. And as I would go to these Reiki sessions, I would come to more and more clarity and connection. And so that led me to recognize I needed to do yoga teacher training, which is where I met my Rise Wellness Collective business partner.
Awesome.
And then like all of these things, I just started to get on my true path.
Yep.
And in 2020, I was having like some major life changes. Like my physical body was having ailments. You know, I had just become a mom, which is the most amazing thing. And that was another piece of just what my soul knew was a part of who I am. That's the one thing I knew was part of my purpose in this world, to be a mom. And I'm so grateful for that gift. But emotionally, in my life, romantically, all these things weren't feeling like they were harmonious. Mm-hmm. And harmony, I've come to recognize, is a huge part of my purpose. And that's something that I really support and guide others to identifying. What are the pieces in your life that allow you to feel connected and harmonious, mm-hmm. and feel joy and centered and like you are happy to be alive, right? Because that's really, we're not here to suffer and be in pain. Yep. We're here to enjoy our lives, to connect with others, and to feel mostly amazing. And I really wasn't at that point. Even though I had this incredible business and all these things outside of my home life were feeling really great. But there was this one component, and it was big and it was dark and it was heavy, and it was disconnecting me from that true path. So I had to really figure out what was going on a deeper level. I had to face some hard truths, but it led me to my teacher, my mentor. I was doing sessions with her, and she offered me to be one of 4 to pioneer this school in bioenergetic trauma therapy. So I became a practitioner in bioenergetic therapy, and it allows me to recognize and identify fears and stories and traumas that are being stored in people's bodies on a cellular level. And it's incredible, the information that the body can reveal. Mm-hmm. And so the chakras are a really powerful information system as well that help to kind of cue us what's happening underneath the surface, mm-hmm. before it even metastasizes into a physical illness, whether that's pain or whether that's like emotional reactions. There's all these different ways our body is communicating with us. And through this incredible training, I was able to firsthand heal myself, get into clarity with what wasn't serving me or in my highest good, and then step into my true work, like receive the final pieces of who I'm here to be in my work. And what my purpose is truly to connect with other beings and their bodies in an energetic and spiritual way so that I can understand and connect the dots and support them in realizing what's not serving and what is serving, and get into that alignment with their truth so that they can build a life that feels awesome and harmonious. And that's also, we're always in this state of evolution. So for myself, I'm still working to master myself, but it's amazing to have this tool of awareness that you can utilize in order to support you in that journey to mm-hmm. recognizing your true path.
Yeah, I love that. What an amazing story. Oh my gosh. That's when you know you're living your true soul's purpose, is when all like the pieces just line up. I mean, everything just like fits together like a little puzzle. Like it's like everything just falls into place. It's so incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really exciting. And in hindsight, it always feels so clear. But in the moments, it can be so foggy, so scary, so
Totally.
overwhelming. Like I didn't know what was coming. And when you're in those moments of the suffering and the pain, you're just almost frustrated and scared and angry and clouded, and you don't see the light. So that's why I do feel so passionately as well in this work, in like energy healing and allowing people to have the hope and the clarity and to recognize like this isn't the end. There's something better. It's just maybe the end of this aspect, whatever that is. It's not serving you. That's why it feels so dark. That's why it feels so negative and scary and low. It doesn't feel good because maybe it's not for you. So what is it showing you?
Yep. I love that. Well, and I like that you said that talking about the bioenergetic stuff that you're working with, that the chakra system was like how you can kind of like read into all of that. And that's really what I kind of wanted to dive into with you about that, because it can seem like such like an esoteric thing, I think, for people. A lot of people, it's just kind of one of those intangible things that a lot of people can't grasp, right? It's a little woo for some people. It's a little out there for some people. And then sometimes it's just like, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. So can you kind of, as simply as possible, can you kind of just explain what the chakra system is, and then and how kind of, I guess, with your experience with bioenergetics and bioenergetic therapy, how that helps you kind of read what's going on in people's bodies?
Absolutely. So one of the things I want to start off by saying is all of us are like barrels of energy, right? Like we all have energy stored within us, but we also are like, there's this invisible railway, right? And connecting us to the universe. And that universe can literally feed us information that we're not seeing. We can feel it sometimes when we're really connected, but when we're disconnected, it just feels overwhelming. Life can be overwhelming. It's constantly sending us information. Our physical world, our spiritual world, our emotional world, and our mental world, we're always receiving. But we can't always find the clarity in order to recognize what the messages are that are coming through to us. So you have to really fine tune your awareness and become consciously connected in order to establish what those messages are and distinguish, as well as discern what is meaningful and what is non-meaningful, non-beneficial. So for example, like if you are extremely overwhelmed, extremely stressed, it's usually an indication there's a lot happening in your life. There's a lot happening in your world. You have a lot on your plate. And we can all fathom that because we've experienced really busy weeks. And on the weeks when we're more, connected and grounded and things are a little bit more slow paced and we're in a good place, there's not too much chaos, we feel better, right? Like we're more intentional in how we're showing up. We're more aware of how our days are evolving and we feel like it's balanced. So if you look at it in that regard, it's very similar in terms of how we're experiencing life. And the way we're experiencing life affects us on a spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical level. Now, we're not always paying attention to our body and what it's experiencing, what it's feeling. We're not always asking ourselves or connecting with ourselves deeply enough to notice. That's not to say the experience isn't taking place, but we're just so caught up in the hustle bustle that we don't really slow down and kind of take note of what's happening internally, externally. So the chakras, really what it is it's an indication system. It's a warning system. And it's also, if you look at it like a green light, red light situation, like when things are imbalanced, it's like a red light indicating to your body something needs to shift because you're going out of alignment. And this is going to create dis-ease, right? Like it's something is not working for you. And then if you are ignoring those internal warnings, it can become something physical. And those are the things that force you to stop. So you kind of have that option always to tune in and notice. But when you're not, when you're too busy and you're almost like, oh, it's just that little pest that keeps nagging at you. So you keep pushing through because you got to get the stuff done until, all of a sudden you really injure yourself. And now you have no choice but to like rest and get off your feet and stop working or whatever, right? So if you think of it like that, that's how you can consider the chakra system. But to simplify it a little bit, so chakra in Sanskrit means wheel. So you can envision it almost like these spinning wheels of energy, and they should remain open and aligned. So they're what allows us to connect with our intuition and to connect deeply in a meaningful way with our body and to experience universal life force energy. And there are so many chakras, but there's 7 main chakras within the body. So the lower chakras, so the root chakra is more the lower level of the body. So it's from about the foot up until the low pelvis. And this is really about feeling safe and secure and having that stability. So it's the base of the spine. And a lot of the times when we're out of alignment, when we're misbalanced, there could be things such as feeling unsafe, not feeling grounded, or having low back pain, knee pain, or financial issues. Like those are the things that are indications that the root is kind of being threatened or that it might be out of alignment because you're starting to see these things play out or you feel that in your life. So that's usually a good indication. And then we move up the body. And so the pelvis and lower abdomen area, this is the sacral chakra. And this is really that creative center. So when we're feeling creative and passionate, that chakra is in balance. Then we're feeling, we're connected to what our feelings are. And we're usually feeling like a flow, that energy of flowing, not so much like controlling or like lack energy. And when it's out of balance, there can be a lot of irritability, a lack of energy, lack of creativity, or feeling explosive or out of touch with our emotions. So I've noticed this in myself sometimes. If I don't set the intention of checking in with where I'm at emotionally, how I'm feeling, then this is one that can quickly go out of balance for me. Yep. And these are moving all the time. Energy is moving all the time, and they're very interconnected. So even though they operate individually, they also can really affect one another. Mm-hmm. So if one is out of balance, it could actually be throwing another out of balance and creating disharmony and disrupting the flow in our body. And then so we'll keep moving up, and just above the sacral is the solar plexus, which is that upper abdomen navel area. And this is really that self-esteem region. So it's all about feeling that confidence in yourself. When it's balanced, you feel confident, purposeful, and powerful. And you feel able to act without hesitation. So it's almost like that lioness or lion energy, right? Like you're just so confident and clear in what you have to do. There's no hesitation. There's no disconnection. It's like you can move with ease that this is the act. This is the doing. And it's not from a proving energy. It's just from a knowing of, okay, this is what's for me, or this is not what's not for me. And so it's even just in the feminine aspect of that, it would be the being, right? You're not having to always do, but just showing up and having confidence in who you be is being enough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we'll keep moving. Oh, and sorry, out of balance, it would be, sometimes it can play out as liver issues in the physical, low self-esteem. So not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy or valid, and digestive issues. Because, right, that's where it houses those organs and a lot of the stuff, having a hard time digesting life because you don't have that confidence.
Yep, for sure.
And then just above that, we have our heart chakra. And this is really the love center, right? And so when it's balanced, there's that compassion, that empathy, peacefulness, and it's just that open trust. You can allow people in, and that heart is flowing, and you are able to give and receive love and forgiveness with ease. When it's blocked or when it's not balanced, there's a lack of trust. There can be jealousy, can be fear, anger, grief, and an inability to forgive. So almost just really holding on and reliving the past with that resentment in your heart, like closing off your heart. Mm-hmm. And then above that is the throat chakra. And this is really about the expression, that expression of truth and clear communication. And this space, you can almost feel it when it's blocked. If you've ever had that situation where you're trying to speak and express yourself and you almost literally feel like this block, like a lump in your throat that you can't say what you want to say. And it's very frustrating and debilitating. But that is that throat chakra being literally blocked from that ability to express and speak your thoughts or your feelings. So an imbalanced throat can create thyroid issues, tonsil issues, and can lead to being very quiet and repressed in your thoughts and your feelings, which can be really, really stifling. Mm-hmm. And it can really disconnect you from deep connection, right? Like it can actually block your heart. So that's why it makes sense that the lower chakras can be so affected by the upper chakras. Because, for example, right there, you can really, I've noticed this in myself in the past when sometimes with certain family members, it can be so hard to express verbally love or compassion. It can be something that even as somebody who is really working on this all the time, it takes a lot of conscious awareness to recognize when that block is taking place. Like there's a desire to say something, but almost a physical, emotional inability to express what's on my mind because there's some kind of disconnect. And a lot of the times the traumas and the fears that are taking place within us are affecting us on a cellular level. So it might not be something you're aware of as why you might even ask yourself, why is it so hard for me to say this? I don't understand. Where is this coming from? Like I've never had any issues with this in this regard or this regard. So we question ourselves, but that's why it's so powerful, because what's really amazing and what I love, and I'm so privileged in what I get to do in working with clients in this capacity, is I actually receive messages from their cells. Like their body reveals to me what it is that is blocking them, what the traumas in their body are. And sometimes we really don't recall, or they can be things that have happened generationally that we absorb through our ancestors, through our family members, epigenetically, or it can be just unconscious because we've blocked the memory of it. But it's still stored in our body, and it still affects us on a mental and emotional and sometimes physical level if it goes unaddressed. And so if you ever are wondering why you are the way you are, why you can't do certain things, or why you feel this resistance to certain things and don't consciously grasp why, it's likely a deep rooted fear that energetically is affecting your body. And so it's so amazing what can come up in these sessions. And then all of a sudden there's these aha moments like, what? Like, there's no way you could know that. It's like, well, your body is holding this information, storing it, and it's so eager and willing to reveal and release it, because it's like this huge weight off when you can let go and come aware of what has been blocking the flow and the functionality, right? Because it's just disconnection that it doesn't serve us. So when we can come to realize and learn what the blocks are, how they're playing out, and what to do different, what to think in order to support us in rising above it and releasing it, then it's just like this breath of fresh air. You can move beyond it and start to check in with yourself and support yourself. It's not to say it's never going to reoccur, but it's like, now you know what the work is. Now you know what the fear is, and it can make it so much more easeful for you to navigate.
Well, and you're able to identify it. You're able to, like you said, the work, and you're able to identify it and really know what to do to release it the next time it happens.
And knowledge is power. And it's these things that we are not taught. And I hope just that we start to, I think things have gotten a little bit better where there's more awareness to these incredible healing modalities and what's available. But I had to search for what was out there. And it wasn't even like I was searching. It was like internally I was seeking on a level, but it wasn't my language. It wasn't like, I didn't know to Google these things. So until you come across it by discovering a podcast or having a family member or a friend be like, hey, come try this, or I'm going to gift you this session, or you just, like me, happen upon it one day online and trust and decide, hey, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and see what this is.
Yeah.
And now it's literally like my life's purpose. But until you go open this door to a whole new world, you don't even know what you don't know.
Right.
Till you open yourself up to be willing to listen, to discover, and to connect the dots in all these incredible ways. And like, these are ancient systems that have been around for so long, like Reiki, you know, all these things. And it's all about you, but every individual has their own knowledge system. Like they all are these systems that are in place, but what comes through them is all unique to each individual who is revealing, like their body is revealing various things to them, and they just don't know the language to read it. They're not taking the time to be with it, or they don't understand. So once you understand, there's so much power and clarity and direction in that.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Love that. I love it.
Thank you. So yeah, and then there's 2 more remaining. So there of the 7. So the just above that, just above the throat, is the third eye, which is on the forehead between the eyebrows. So just above that middle area on the forehead between the eyebrows. And it's really about seeing. So intuition, vision, like being a visionary and being clear, having the clarity in your mind and your thoughts, as well as imaginative. And this is a really powerful place. This is a really powerful center for manifestation, right? Because it's like when we're looking to project an ideal future for ourselves, we have to be able to have a clear vision of what we desire, but without the attachment to what that looks like, right? We don't know necessarily or specifically how it's going to play out, but being able to have that clear vision of what that, in the best case scenario or better, will be for us. And then that is what creates the courage and the willingness and the drive, the motivation and determination to go forward, to feel inspired, to move in a direction that's aligned for us. But when we are not balanced in our third eye, we'll sometimes experience headaches, or we'll be really stuck in ego, a low vibration ego, which can be, you almost can appear like you have everything figured out, right? Or like you know what you're doing and you don't need anybody. But inside, you actually feel really lost, really afraid, really disconnected and isolated, and stuck in these negative stories of the past and in fear over what could happen, all the things that could go wrong. And that skepticism, right? That like negative thinking can really block. It's like the anti-manifester, right?
Right. Yeah.
Poison. It's poison to our dreams and our desires and the opportunities and the possibilities that are actually endless and limitless. Because if you can dream something, you can create it in some form. So I think sometimes we really doubt ourselves when we haven't gotten close to the light, or when we've gotten disconnected from it, or when things have been feeling like a challenge or a struggle. And we all go through these highs and these lows. And this is not about bypassing the lows and being in that toxic positivity, because that's something completely separate. Fears and negative thoughts are valid. Like we have to acknowledge them and see them for what they are, and almost put them in front of us so we can recognize they're not as impossible to face. They're not as scary as we make them out to be in our mind. But when we dismiss them and bury them, that's when we're really harming ourselves and we're avoiding facing what is true about it.
Right.
And then we're just disconnecting and almost shutting off. This is where we start to shut ourselves off, and we don't feel inspiration, and we close off and pull away from the things that are truly for us because we don't believe in ourselves. So this is a really powerful space. Like our mind and our thoughts are so powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's not to put the pressure or the expectation, but to remember who we're here to be.
Mm-hmm.
That we're here to lead ourselves, not from the place of ego and control, but from that place of soul, where there's something deep inside of us that our human has to learn to trust.
Yep.
We have to learn to trust and be a friend to ourselves in those low moments and turn to the places that help to light us back up, to get us back in touch with our inspiration, with our visions, with our dreams and desires, so that we keep believing and moving forward no matter what life hits us
Mm-hmm.
with. Because it is all happening for us. But in the moment, it's so hard to know that until we move through it.
Mm-hmm. So true.
And then the final chakra of the 7 is the crown chakra, which is at the top of the head, the crown of the head. And this is really connected to, when it's balanced, it's about faith, awareness, and it's again that clarity. So in the third eye, it's the clear vision, the clear seeing. But in our crown chakra, it's like this knowing, like you just have this deep understanding, and you can't necessarily put it into physical form yet, but there's this drive, it's this deep rooted knowing of what you need to do, who you're here to be, and the understanding of what the actions or inactions are. And there's like not a doubt in your mind. It's the greatest feeling. When you feel that, it's just so powerful. Mm-hmm. That's that deep power when we can be so connected to ourselves. And that is when the universe is really sending us those signals. And it's coming to us all the time. But just to get back to what I was saying prior with that universal life force energy, it's flowing to us from the cosmos all the time. We can't always feel it. We don't always recognize it.
Right.
But when you slow down, when you do things that are mindful, when you meditate, those are really, or doing yoga, going for a walk in nature, really unplugging and simplifying our lives and just giving ourselves some space and time to connect inward. That's the space when you receive the knowing. That's the space when you're able to actually know with whatever clarity it is that it comes to you. So sometimes it's knowing, sometimes it's feeling, sometimes it's seeing. We all have different ways that we can recognize that spiritual knowing before it becomes official, right? Like when we receive the affirmation physically, it's so exciting, but this is like the pre-thought to that, the pre-work to that download from the universe into our crown, into our mind on a spiritual level that then becomes either a thought or an emotion. Like it depends. For me, it's an emotion first. Like I'll get chills and I know, oh my gosh, something's happening. And then I get the clarity. Like, it's like, oh, this is it. And it's like brainstorm of a I literally call it dropping in. Like it drops in like a lightning bolt, and it's just like, here, I know it's for me. I know it's for the world. There's something powerful about it. I can't identify sometimes what that's going to play out as or who is going to receive it, but and sometimes it's so clear. There's various levels of it. Sometimes like I'll get a name in my head and like everything comes through at once. And other times you just get pieces of the puzzle and they come together. And then eventually you stand back, you zoom out, and you're like, whoa, like that's what this was about all this time. I knew it was something, and I just had to be patient with myself and allow it to happen. And then we look back, and in hindsight, it's so clear why these things were happening, what it was leading you towards, what it was leading you to know, what it was leading you to do or to change and shift. And it's really just about being patient with ourselves, being kind and compassionate with ourselves, believing it's possible, believing it's true, like believing in the power of the universe, and that it's not about religion, but it's about energy and messages flowing to us through us all the time and making ourselves available and a vessel, a pure vessel that is eager, willing, and aware enough to receive them and recognize them. And then beyond that, now it's you have the power. It's what you do with that, right? Are you going to sit on it? Are you going to dismiss it? Are you going to doubt it? Or are you going to have that deep trust and gratitude and feel ignited by it? Let it light you up and uplift you and elevate you and connect you to yourself and then the world, and then expand it outward in whatever ways that you feel called. For some people, it might be painting, right? Like they might be these amazing artists. And we see this, we have proof of this happening all around us, right? Like incredible books have been written, incredible paintings have been painted, incredible songs have been sung and lyrics written. Like there is so much proof of universal life force energy coming through us. It's the genius within all of us. We all have it. It's that moment when you just knew what you had to do, when you were desperate and pleading for some answers and clarity and guidance. Then all of a sudden, this drop in of information and you knew what to do, where to go, who to call, what to say. That's the proof. That's what we have to remember and hold on to in those dark moments when we don't know where to go. It's amazing what your body is capable of. Totally. It's amazing what our bodies store. They're just these, like it houses so much information, past, present, and future, things that we don't even know. It's already trying to hint at things that we need to heal. It's letting us know, hey, you're holding on to that. Here it is in your left shoulder, twinge. Like you're going to do something about it.
Right.
Keep going and keep going out of alignment and doing more harm to your body. So we need to learn to slow down, to listen, and to actually care, care about ourselves and how we feel, and prioritize our bodies, our minds, our spirits, and start believing in what we recognize. Start to actually pay attention, because there's so much skepticism and it's not doing us any favors. Right. Like, and I understand it can feel so, like, it's so easy to judge and dismiss things when we don't have physical proof, tangible proof.
Yep, exactly it.
Actually pay attention. There is so much available. Prove this is real, that this is something major that can support you in all endeavors in your life.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I think the point to the point that you made about if we just like your body's going to tell you, like if you wait long enough and listen, your body's going to tell you, and all the proof you need is what's in here. Like your body's going to tell you. And so, I think I talk about this a lot too with my community and my Facebook group and stuff, is just building that sense of awareness, because, we're so good at looking outside of us for all of the answers. When it's that awareness piece, when you can bring in that awareness piece, all the answers have been in here the whole time. It's just, I'm guilty of the same. You just go, and you don't take the time, you don't make the space to like build that sense of awareness. And, we're not able to hear the messages that are being sent. And like you're talking about, like receiving the downloads and all that, like we don't make the space to receive all of that. So it all goes back to just building that sense of awareness.
Yeah. And your relationship to the universe, your relationship with yourself, right? I was very spiritually disconnected. I was very uninspired, and I was very disconnected from myself. And that was really frustrating. But instead of recognizing that my relationship, it starts with me. It starts with how I view myself and how I view these practices and how I make time, what I choose to do with my time. That's the root of it. That's where it starts. It stems from that. Like, it's us operating in this world. We are the vessel, and it's what we put into our bodies that affects everything. It's what we speak. It's what we think, and it's what we do, how we use our energy, right? So if we're navigating this world, right, how we navigate this world and what we take from it, that exchange is going to affect the whole trajectory of our lives. And then it has a ripple outward effect. I didn't know that. I couldn't zoom out back then because I wasn't given the tools and I didn't have the self-awareness. But now, with everything I've learned and all of the tools that I've been given and all of my own innate abilities. We all have gifts. Like we're all here with gifts, but then we have to go through life in order to reveal these gifts to ourselves. Like they've been hidden inside of us all along. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh, like I'm a gift. What? Like, where has this been all this time? If only I knew. But then it's part of the journey, right? The journey to discovering our true selves and the journey to recognizing who we truly are in our core, what our essence is. And when you discover that, you get to, become your true self. And it is such a beautiful thing when you never had that awareness. And then all of a sudden you're tapping into the aspects that are true for you and who you are at your core being. And then you discover all of these aspects of your truth and you fall in love with yourself in a non-egotistical way. Like it's this pure, beautiful thing that the world magnetizes to because they see you're radiating with love and joy for being. And it absolutely astounds others because it's like something no one's ever seen, right? It's like that energy of the sun. And you can think of that like the solar plexus, right? Like when you feel so connected and confident in being your true self, you're so purposeful and there's that power, there's that radiance, you're beaming from within and people can't stop but bask in that energy, right? The sun, it just feels so warm and loving and harmonious. And it's astounding. It doesn't matter how many times you see it. When it comes out, you stop and you acknowledge it and you're like, whoa, like the sun is out today. Life is wonderful. Like I want to be in this energy. It feels amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it helps ignite that in other people. Like it's contagious. It makes other people feel inspired and ignite it. When you see somebody in their element, beaming bright, like just loving life and blissful and harmonious, there's something about them. And sometimes it can be extremely triggering when you're not in that place, right? Like, I know, and that's not to say anything negative. It's more to say, okay, I need to connect with myself. What is this that's triggering me? What is this teaching me? What do I need to do more of for myself?
Right.
So that I can actually celebrate other people while they're in their glory instead of hate them for it, right? Like when people are miserable, it's only because they're disconnected to themselves. They're not bad people, but they're needing to do some self-work, some self-care. They need to find that self-love and reconnect to their light. They're in that dark and they need to nurture and nourish their spirit, their soul.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I love that so much. And you're so eloquent about it. Like oh my gosh, it's just so perfectly stated. I love it. And I do have one more question for you as we start to wrap up, but I want to, before I ask you the last question, I do want you to let everybody know where they can find out more about you because you offer so many things. I mean, you do Reiki, you do yoga, you do chakra balancing, you do so many things. So where can people find you and find out more about what you do and all the things that you offer?
Thank you for asking. And thank you for saying that. That means so much. It's, I just love it. It lights me up so much. I'm so passionate about it. And it brings me so much joy to watch how it affects other people, how it transforms their lives. And seeing that firsthand for myself, watching that. It's something I practice every day, balancing chakras. You can never do it too much because we're constantly being overloaded with information. So the more you're checking in with yourself, your body, emotionally, mentally, physically, and trying to notice when those messages are coming through, the better. Because it's everyday work. It's an everyday practice. So if anyone has any questions or wants to reach out, like I offer private sessions, we also do courses all the time. I'm not sure when this is airing. We have an in-person retreat happening in Ontario this May.
Awesome.
So if this is released before then, May 28th is Metamorphosis retreat. Yeah, so Jillian is my amazing business partner. She's also been offering human design readings, so incredible human design coaching. And we all kind of have, like, we each have our own niche and then we come together and it's really powerful. So we'll both be leading this retreat in Orono, Ontario, Rising Spirit Wellness Center. And it's just combining all of the modalities, but we also offer virtual Zoom sessions. So tonight I actually have a session with a client where she's in BC. And it's amazing because we can have these incredible online exchanges. And because of Reiki, there is no time or distance. So it collapses that. And it's like you're doing it face to face. And it's really supportive and nurturing for the body, mind, and soul. And it allows me to tap in, identify the trauma. This is a trauma clearing treatment, and then reveal the information that needs to be revealed, whatever it is that needs to become conscious, comes through in the session. And then there's an actual releasing of that trauma that's being stored in the body. And I get these incredible messages, but I also see like the energy shift and transform live in a session, like the change in someone's spirit. All of a sudden, the way they're speaking, everything lifts, and then they get to go out into the world, and that has such a powerful ripple outward effect. So you can find us on our website, Rise, RISE Wellness, WELLNESS, Collective, COLLECTIVE.com. If anybody has any inquiries or wants to get in touch directly, you can reach us. risewellnesscollective@gmail.com. And send us a direct message with any specific questions or requests. We also are on Instagram and Facebook as Rise Wellness Collective. And we have a few free master classes and things in our Facebook group. So there's lots. We always like to have different doorways for people to enter, no matter what price point they're at.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
To learn and to find that self-betterment and to have that spark.
Yeah, I love it. And I'll put the links to all that in the show notes. Everybody can find you. The last question I have that I like to end with, to ask everybody, what do you think is the most important thing you can do to live with purpose?
Oh, I love that so much. I am a huge advocate for journaling. I really feel like that is the opportunity for things to come through you, right? That information to pour through you. And when I'm in a place where I am feeling lost, confused, disconnected, and unsure or overwhelmed, I'll notice when I just start writing. And it can be there's this resistance sometimes, and just be with the information that's kind of overwhelming my mind and my spirit. But if I just sit down and start writing uninhibited, like give myself that space, all of the fears, all of the blocks, all of the struggles, all of the like ego starts to come out. And then beyond that wall, beyond that block, beyond that chaos, there's so much wisdom, knowledge, and light. That's where spirit starts to flow through. So, and sometimes it's just like, there needs to be emotions that move, right? Emotions are energy emotions. So however you are feeling like you're trapped inside yourself, whatever those feelings are, without questioning it, without making too much of it, but choose to move that energy in whatever way serves you, whether that's dancing, whether that's running, whether that's writing, whether that's taking a yoga class or singing. Like everybody has that practice that just resonates on a soul level and does something for your spirit. So move that energy, get out of our own way, but with so much love and compassion and kindness, you know, like never feeling shame for being human. We're all having different experiences in our own way, in our own world, but we all are human and we all are going to go through the ups and the downs, but the downs make the ups that much sweeter. They give us the strength. They give us the like awareness of how capable and strong we truly are. So don't hate the lows or reject them or deny yourself the experience with them, but don't get stuck. Don't feel like you have to live there. And if things are feeling really heavy and really scary, and if you are feeling isolated and unclear, you don't have to be alone. Like there is so much available, so many people that live to serve and support you moving through that and getting to the light. You're never alone. And it truly is an honor to support others in moving into that energy of love and abundance.
Love it. It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Nadia, for this. You have brought so much enlightenment to this subject and like really clarified. I think it was such a clear explanation and just allowing everybody to kind of feel into what all of me going through the chakras. It was perfect. So thank you so much for coming today and just sharing all of your wisdom and your light and your energy. It was just so perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Hope. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being such an incredible bright light and platform for people to come and discover these incredible modalities that are available to support their journey.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to Hopeful and Wholesome, y'all. If you found value in this week's episode, please subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review to let me know what you thought. I love to know what you find useful in these episodes so I know how I can provide the most value I can to my listeners. And if you have topics that you want to know more about, I'd love to hear those as well. So shoot me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. It's at the Hope Pedraza, or visit my website, hopefulandwholesome.com. Thanks, y'all.